Okay, now we have the Kenny art package downloaded. Make sure you unzip it, and in it you can find the platformer pack folder, and then let's go to the player folder and find this file here, P1 sprite sheet. Right. So this is going to be the sprite sheet we use for a character. Now drag that into your project, and remember we want to make sure that this is a multiple sprite. Let me just quickly open up that file so you can see that what it looks like before we start slicing it. Here, so this is what that file looks like, and what we want to do is we want to start slicing each sort of character image into its own sprite so we can animate it. And we've done this before, so just go to multiple and click on the sprite editor, and this will bring up the sprite editor, and click on slice. I think automatic should work fine here. Just click on slice, and before we do that, actually I want to change the pivot to bottom. So I want to sort of the pivot point of the character be at the bottom of the sprites. Okay, slice. You can see that now I have all these individual sprites that I can use, and I'm going to rename some of them. Right, so this is going to be duck, and this is going to be my jump sprite. This is hurt sprite, and this is front, and finally this is stand. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's apply that sprite, the changes to our sprite editor, close it, and now you can see that we got all these different sprites that we can use. So I want to start creating animations for this character. So let's select all the ones that we didn't rename. So these are going to be my walk animation. Let me just quickly show you. So these ones and that one are my walk animation. Okay, so I'm going to use those, deselect that one, and just drag those into the scene, and Unity is going to prompt us to enter a name for this animation. I'm going to just call this walk. Okay, and notice that the character is rather small, so let's change the pixels to units setting to 50 to make it twice as big. I think that's good for now. Let's change this to player since it's got everything set up for us. And if we go to animation, you can see that we have a walk animation that's automatically created when we drag all these sprites into the scene, right? And then also we have the animator set up for us as well, so that's good. You can preview the animation, and you can see that that's going to be our walk animation. And I just want to quickly set up a few more animations that we can use, right? So I want an idle animation, and there's nothing in it, so I'm just going to drag a front sprite where the character is looking at the camera, and then the stand sprite where the character is looking forward. And I'm going to copy this one, copy the very first frame, and paste it. Create another one there. So you can double click on the animation timeline to create a new keyframe and sort of copy and paste that sprite onto that frame. So that's what I just did. So if we play this idle animation, that's what the character is going to look like when the idle animation is playing. I think it's a little bit fast, so I'm going to change the samples to 30. Okay, that's good. Let me just double check the walk animation. I think the speed is fine. I don't need to change the sample here. Setting there. Okay. Okay, so we've got walk, we've got idle, and I'm going to do a jump animation. And since we only have one frame, we only have one sprite image for the jump animation, I'm just going to go ahead and use that. Right, so it's a single frame animation, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. Now let's create another one called hurt. We'll use this when the player is hurt by an enemy, and that's going to be that one. So that's going to be the sprite we use for that animation. And then finally we'll use a dock animation. I'm not sure if we'll get to actually using it, but there's no harm creating it. So I'm going to drag this in. Again, that's going to be a single frame animation. So I got all my 5 animations created. If we go to the animator, you can see that the animations are all in here, ready to be used. Okay, great. Now the next step, we're going to create some, before we go, let's import another graphic into the scene. Now let's go to tiles. There are a lot of different tiles that we can use in this package. And all I want is something that we can use for the floor. I think this grass image would work. Now, just quickly, if you go to tiles sprite sheet, it's got all the different tiles on a sprite sheet that you can use to slice, like what we just did earlier, and then you can use any of these in your game. We're not going to use most of them, so I'm just going to go to tiles, and then let's just grab one for now. Let's just use the grass file, import that into the scene. Okay, so we have that. And again, if we just sort of drag that in, you can see this is the tile. It does look a bit small, so I'm going to change that to change the pixels to units setting on this particular image to 50 as well. So that sort of matches up a little bit better with our player character.